What's going on, everybody? Welcome in to the Blazers Uprise post whatever the hell that was show presented by Sleeper. The Portland Trail Blazers today won a basketball game, technically. Technically, they won a basketball game. This game counts as one win in the win column, Eric. They did what they were supposed to do. They beat the Kings, you know? The shorthanded Kings missing Domantas Sabonis, missing Zach LaVine, the Portland Trail Blazers. I guess you could say took care of business today. They get a fun 1-point victory. Oh my goodness, I don't know what the hell we just watched. We're going to break down everything that went right and then everything that went wrong, and there was a lot that went wrong in the final 2 minutes of regulation because the Portland Trail Blazers, with 1:53 remaining, had a 15-point lead against the Sacramento Kings, and this game went into overtime. The Blazers then in overtime held a 6-point lead and were down one in the final seconds before Denny Avdia, the master at drawing fouls, draws a foul with 1.5 seconds left on a 18-foot runner, and then he makes both free throws, which, no Blazer wanted to make both free throws in crunch time until Denny Avdia did. In the final seconds, the Blazers win. So, welcome in. Thank you for making us a part of your Thursday night. That shit was hilarious, man. I thought they lost. I was laughing. I was laughing so hard because I thought they lost and I didn't realize they called a foul. I wasn't even mad. I was dumbfounded, and it was hilarious to me. I feel like 4 years ago on a post-game show, I'd be really, really pissed off about what happened. But at this point, we've been through so much with this channel that I thought they lost and I was laughing my ass off. And then I realized they called a foul for Denny Avdia, and I started laughing even harder because this game was completely ridiculous. Eric, what's going on, man? How's your day going? And how do you even begin to summarize whatever the hell just happened?
The Kings thought they won too, so they thought the Blazers lost and were celebrating. I don't think they heard the foul until several seconds later either. First of all, though, let me just say, man, it's been a while. Hi, chat. Hi, Tori. How are you guys? Feel like we've barely talked recently.
I know. Yeah, we've had very few games recently, and it's been like some solo stream from me or from you here or there. So it's nice to have a normal post-game show, although I wouldn't call this normal.
Right. And then, outside of having Christmas Eve and Christmas off, the Blazers play a ton of back-to-backs coming up. They pretty much play at least a game every other day, and then throw in all those back-to-backs. So there's a lot of makeup for this slow schedule here coming up in the coming weeks. But man, I don't even remember everything that happened. So many bad things happened in this game that had to all happen to blow this one almost. And man, it was just poor execution all around. Ton of missed free throws as well. Horrible coaching, I thought. Once again, close game. We can't do anything right, both players and coaching wise, and just a comedy of errors. It was just like you said, if it wasn't funny, I would have been disgusted and breaking stuff in the past. But at this point, you can only laugh, right?
Yeah. There's certain things that pissed me off about the way they choked this, but overall it was hilarious. Dylan Brooks punched Steph.
I gotta find this.
Word? All right, man. Let's go. This is going to be a fun post-game show, man.
He's been talking mad crap to LeBron. Now he's punching Curry.
Did he actually connect? Oh, in the stomach? Oh, I thought you meant like it was in a play. Oh, man. I was thinking fight. They're fighting. Oh, I got excited for nothing.
No, he just, yeah.
Oh, boo. Got my hopes up. I thought there was an actual fist fight and he actually punched Steph. That would be awesome. Not rooting for Steph to get hurt or anything, Steph hopefully has a iron chin. I don't know. I've never seen him get punched, but that would be just the cherry on top of whatever the hell tonight has been. Aeromancer says, I'm so mad right now. This team has no idea how to execute late in games. I mean, they've lost some games this year with awful late game execution, and this was just a disaster class. I thought there was multiple things that contributed to this. One was Denny got cute with a couple of passes that I don't think he normally tries to throw, and it just seemed like they kind of took their foot off the gas. But then also missed free throws, but then also like, dude, what were they up when Shaden Sharp shot that mid-range jumper? Let me look.
I mean, we're gonna have to go through all the play-by-play.
We're gonna have to go through all the play-by-play, but like, okay. Let's start. Let's just go through the play-by-play because there's so much stuff to talk about here.
So should we start at 5 minutes when they're up 18 or 2 minutes when they're up 15?
2 minutes when they're up 15 because you give up 3 points in 3 minutes, you should be fine. Shout out to Adir Shimshin 15. That's a ruble, I think. Donation says, much love, Eric and Tori can't decide what was worse today, our turnovers or our final minute free throws. They were both pretty damn bad. Thank you for the donation. Let's just start with because there's so many places to go through. It'll take us all night to go through the final 5 minutes. So, the Blazers are up 113-98 with a minute and 53 seconds. A minute and 53 seconds, Eric. That's right. They were up 15 points with under 2 minutes remaining at home against a 6-20 team, missing its best two offensive players in Domantas Sabonis and Zach LaVine. And this travesty started with Shaden Sharp fouling Keon Ellis on a 3-point jumper. Just dumb play. It sucks because I thought Shaden Sharp played a really good game before that final 2 minutes and played a really smart game, and I was ready to come on the post-game show talking about how I really love the way Shaden Sharp played today and some of his decision-making. The last 2 minutes, we got to talk about the last 2 minutes. So, really bad foul on Keon Ellis, fouling him on a 3. Clock is stopped. They get 3 free throws. They cut it to 12 with a minute 53 remaining. The Blazers then take 19 off the shot clock. Denny misses a 26-foot contested 3-point pull-up jumper. But, like, that possession is fine. You're up 12 with a minute and a half left. Like, you don't want terrible shots, but, you know, you want to use the shot clock. You want to use the clock. The problem is, within 8 seconds, the Kings get down the court and City Sissoko fouls Russell Westbrook. You stop me if you want to talk about any of these specific plays, but I wanted to go through chronologically. Russell Westbrook makes both free throws. The Blazers are now up 10, 113, 103 remaining with a minute 26. Okay. The Blazers then take 23 seconds off the shot clock. Donovan Klingan he airballs a contested like step through 3-point shot. You would like to get a better shot at the end of the shot clock there, but once again, they, wore out the shot clock. Just would like a better shot there. The thing is, you gotta defend. The Kings then come down and DeMar DeRozan makes a 3. So now the 10-point lead is cut to 7 with 52 seconds remaining. So that was only a 10-second possession for the Kings. So you got them scoring off of 3 free throws, off of getting fouled on a 3, getting to the free throw line again within 8 seconds, and then making a 3 within 10 seconds. The problem is, for the Blazers, you're not making them use any clock. But, all right, there's 52 seconds remaining. The Blazers are up 7. This is still very winnable. Very winnable. Then Shaden Sharp takes a mid-range pull-up with like 12 or 13 seconds on the shot clock. This is the first play I really want to talk about. We're going to go through this chronologically, talk about each area where the Blazers really messed up. Shaden Sharp had the foul on Keon Ellis for 3. Bad decision. The pull-up mid-range, Eric, was maybe like the worst shot selection of the entire season. Like, you're up 7 with 52 seconds remaining. You just sit on the ball and get a 24-second shot clock violation, and there is 28 seconds remaining, and you're up 3 possessions. Okay? So they don't have enough time to score without the shot clock turning off. Once you get the ball back, you'd still be up 2 possessions. It's just simple, basic end-of-game math. Shooting a pull-up mid-range jumper with 13 on the shot clock or whatever it was. The broadcast was saying 14. I thought it was 12. Like, inexcusably bad decision. After a game where he made great decisions all game long, he has a play that's just like the worst late game awareness. And it's part of what gave the Kings enough time at the end of regulation. There obviously a lot more contributed to this happening, so it's not just this one play. But Eric, you gotta be smarter than that. If it's a wide open 3, that's better than a contested mid-range pull-up. But that's still a bad shot. If it's a wide open layup, that's the only shot you take. The broadcast was talking about it. The broadcast was literally talking about it. And Lamar Hurd criticized Shaden Sharp for taking that shot, as he should have. That was an awful, awful shot.
Yeah, just at that point, it becomes a math game. Like you said, you get the ball 52 seconds, you can run it down to 28 seconds. Even if you just hold the ball and don't do anything, you're up 7 with 28 seconds left. They don't have enough time. I don't remember if they had a timeout at that point left or not. The Blazers didn't, but the Kings did. I think they had one timeout left. I'm confusing overtime with that, but 7 points with 28 seconds is pretty much insurmountable unless you miss all your free throws.
Which for the ball constantly, yeah.
Certainly possible in this game, the way the Blazers shot free throws, but yeah, just not a good decision. And you also, with the way this team has been coached this season, and especially tonight, you also have to wonder, was there anyone telling them not to shoot or to waste out the shot clock? Like, what's the messaging from the coaching staff as well? I think we should maybe listen to the splitter. I think that's
definitely
interesting tonight, but
we definitely will.
Someone said that he didn't play Sharp after that due to the minutes restriction, so he's using that excuse over saying that he messed up and he didn't feel like he gave them the best chance to win. But anyways,
I will say I will respect it if he benched him because of how bad those last 2 minutes were.
Yeah,
I would have respected him benching anybody after how bad those last 2 minutes were. That was pretty.
I mean, he didn't say that, but yeah, just poor execution. Like I said, poor coaching, not getting that messaging across to not shoot until you absolutely have to. That should be ingrained in these guys' head in that situation, up 7, that you want to run as much clock as possible. So unless he just went rogue and shot a shot, it's just bad all around.
Eric, this shouldn't even have to be explained. I see somebody in chat say, Shea is young, he will learn. He's a 4th-year NBA player. I can take a random person out of our chat and they would know, yeah, we're up 7 with 52 seconds remaining. Okay, you don't shoot a mid-range pull-up with 13 on the shot clock. I could take the average person from our freaking chat and they could tell you that. So it's no excuse for a 4th-year NBA player to not understand that. He shouldn't need to learn that. He should have learned that in middle school, man. We're talking about a freaking professional, okay? I was excited to come on here and talk about how Shaden Sharp might finally be turning the corner. And listen, we'll talk about the good from his game when we break down players. But, like, there's just, every time this is the thing for me, Eric. Every time it's like, oh man, the 3-point shot's falling. Oh man, he's making really good decisions. Because I thought he had a couple of instances where he made really good decisions, not forcing a shot, making the extra pass in this game. The one to Jeremy in the 4th quarter, I tweeted about it. I love that play from him. And it's like every time, for me, at least, it's like how I feel. Every time he like starts to show this stuff, he then like does something where it's like, dude, what the hell? What the hell? You know, and that last 2 minutes was basically that for me.
Yeah.
Like, he has to be smarter late in games, Eric. He just has to be smarter. He has to be smarter. Like, there's just no excuse for that shot. And I could take a random person from chat and they would tell you that. So listen, if you're a Shaden Sharp fan and you can't criticize him for anything and you can't criticize him for taking that shot, their own broadcast, Lamar Hurd was criticizing him for taking that shot. And we're talking about the broadcast that puts rose-colored glasses on and excuses everything. They were criticizing that shot. There's no excuse for that shot. This is something that Shaden Sharp has to learn from, but it's not something he should have had to learn in the first place, man. Like, there's just instances where it's like he's not locked in. And he seemed pretty locked in all game, and then he shoots that shot, and it's like, dude, what are you thinking?
Did you read off either the Jason 49ers 77 donos?
No, let me scroll up.
I got them.
All right, read them for me.
First was $2 donation from Jason 49ers 77, says that was the dumbest basketball I've seen in years. And then a $5 donation later says the Blazers choked so hard they needed a safe word. It's pretty funny.
What was the safe word? Let me know in chat what the safe word was for the Blazers. The safe word might have been Chris Murray or City Sissoko. Because after the starters choked that lead, those guys showed up in overtime. Shout out to user01, $2 donation. Is Denny Avdia any good? Is the guy that dropped 35, 5, and 5, and he's averaging 26, 7, and 6 on the season on a 60 true shooting percentage? Is he any good? I don't know. You tell me. Thank you for the donation. Shout out to Muvsy, Hoops member for 3 months, says, is that a new Dame jersey in the back? Yeah, we got the Dame jersey in the back. Shout out to my guy Barna for hooking it up. It's custom made. Look, we got the Blazers Uprise logo in there. The background looks like the background of the Blazers Uprise logo. So shout out to him for hooking that up. He wants me to hang it, but like I have no wall space behind me to hang it. I got like the closet door, and I want it to be in the shot. So I put a spotlight on it. Got the Lillard jersey right there. So shout out to him for hooking it up. Thank you, Mubsy, for being a channel member. Eric, you want to give your thoughts on that shot? I feel like I've ranted about it.
I mean, yeah, it was a bad shot. Bad shot. You can't shoot that. And we know that's something we've been talking all season about, just this lack of awareness on shot selection sometimes. But in this situation, gotta definitely question what he was thinking there.
Oh man, chat's on one today. Comment in chat. You guys are Denny lovers. Yeah, I love a guy that can average 26, 7, and 6, and you should too if you're a Blazer fan.
Danny.
Okay.
So Danny.
Okay. Man, everybody got drunk early before Christmas today, including the players, including the chat. But our shot night's on Saturday. It's not tonight. All right, so okay, whatever. Like, terrible shot. But here's the thing. The Kings come down. They got the rebound with 35.6 remaining. DeMar DeRozan gets fouled by Denny Avdia with 31.8 remaining. So less than 4 seconds after the rebound, they get to the free throw line. So, like, the Blazers are just not doing a good job playing defense. And they're also letting them get to the free throw line at will. Like,
it's important to note that Tammani had some stupid fouls and got himself fouled out before all this stretch too. So we didn't have him out there for defense as well.
Yeah, but like, dude, even if
no,
you give up a bucket
I'm just saying, like, Tammani took himself out of the game with dumb fouls. So.
Yeah. But also, it's like, even if you let him score every time, make him take more than 4 to 8 seconds. Like, provide some resistance, please. So DeRozan makes both free throws. At this point, it's a 5-point game with 32 seconds remaining. The Blazers should still be able to hold on to this. You know, like, they have played an awful minute and a half here, as bad as they could with a 15-point lead with a minute 53 remaining, but they still are completely in control. So Shaden Sharp then gets fouled and misses both free throws. Eric, like, you got to find ways to make free throws in crunch time, but that seems to be a problem that plagues a bunch of guys on this roster, so I'm not even going to be too hard on Sharp. This has kind of been a team-wide issue, it feels like. Even Denny has had some moments. He shoots a good free throw percentage, but it seems like he shoots worse in the clutch. Thankfully, he made his last two.
I want a double overtime, man. This game deserved double overtime.
I couldn't have handled double overtime, man.
No, it deserved double overtime.
Yeah, so...
I mean, we were 21 of 33, 64% for the game. So, yeah, I don't think that's on one person. But, yeah, it's still got to make at least one in that situation.
Yeah, but that's just like a... He's not trying to miss free throws, right? So it's like, all right, you just got to figure out a way to kind of like lock in crunch time. Got to figure out a way to lock in crunch time. But I will always be more annoyed about just making a dumb decision and shooting that mid-range shot over missing free throws. Because like nobody's trying to miss free throws there. It's just you're not able to kind of, I don't know, maybe the pressure got to him a little bit and he kind of made 2 mistakes and maybe that was getting to him a little bit. I don't know. I'm not in his head. I don't know what he was thinking. But yeah. You got to find ways to make free throws. But that's... Occasionally that'll happen to even good free throw shooters. So the mid-range shot's really what I'm annoyed about there at the end. And fouling Keon Ellis on that 3. Anyway, so Shaden Sharp misses both. And they get the rebound with 25.9 seconds remaining. Russell Westbrook scores a layup with 21.4 seconds remaining. You only made him take 4 seconds to go down the court and score a freaking layup. Just horrendous defense.
But you still have the ball, shot clock off, up 3.
Mm-hmm.
And then...
So the play they run here, they run Denny Avdia to the corner, and they throw... Chris Murray's throwing in the ball, and he hits Denny in the hands, but it's at a really weird angle, and he drops it out of bounds. So, like, damn, you got to catch the ball. But he also threw it, like, pretty hard. I don't know, weird angle. The play was just dumb. Because even if he catches the ball, you're throwing it to him in the corner where he can easily get trapped. The last place you want to get trapped is in the corner, whether it's, half court in the sideline or baseline in the sideline, because you basically have, out of bounds on 2 sides of you and defenders on 2 other sides of you, and you're basically trapped. It's really hard position to get out of, and it's really easy for the defense behind that to kind of have 3 guys zone up and like be able to try and steal or deflect the passes out of that trap. It's the last position you want to be in this situation. And Tiago runs a play with Denny running into the worst possible spot. So yeah, Denny didn't catch the ball. Even if he catches the ball, that's not a situation you want to be in. Absolutely ridiculous out of bounds play. And none of their out of bounds plays worked. There's going to be some more that I'm going to talk about, but that was quite a ridiculous play.
Well, I was going to say, at least there he had a chance to catch the ball. The other plays, we didn't even have a chance of anyone coming to the ball or anything. Like, what the hell were those? We'll get to those in a second. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so so Denny loses the ball out of bounds with 20.3 seconds remaining. Russell Westbrook comes down and gets fouled with 15 seconds remaining. So 5 seconds. 5-second possession.
We fouled on purpose. So they didn't get
fouled on purpose. That's right.
Yeah.
How'd that work out for the Blazers? Guess what? Fouling went up 3. Eric, doesn't really work if your team can't make clutch free throws. You're basically getting into a free throw shooting contest with 15 seconds remaining. The Blazers at this point should not want to get in a free throw shooting contest with 15 seconds remaining with anybody because they are not clutch from the free throw line. They're not clutch from the free throw line. But Russell Westbrook is. He makes 2 free throws. So now the Blazers' 15-point lead has been trimmed to 1 with 15 seconds remaining. Then he gets fouled, makes his first free throw, misses his second. So that's 1 for 4 on crunch time free throws. But the Blazers get the offensive rebound on the second one. Donovan Klingan gets an offensive board. He gets fouled. He makes 1 and 2 free throws. So now they are 2 for 6 on crunch time free throws. So now the Blazers are up 3. They inbound it. The ball was like, I don't even know how to explain the last play. The ball was tipped. It like somehow ended up in DeMar DeRozan's hand. He pump faked a 3. Who was it that bit on his pump fake?
Chris Murray.
And then he gets a wide open 3 and he drills it. What were your thoughts on that last play? So this basically tied it up, and then Jeremy Grant missed a pull-up 3 at the buzzer. So it sent it to overtime.
Well, first of all, if you're going to play the foul when you're up 3 game, you can't then not do it, in my opinion. So they had a chance to foul on that play before DeRozan got the ball. And for some reason didn't. And then, yeah, DeRozan hits a 3. At this point, the DeRozan 2 threes at the end, they had only hit 3 threes the whole game up to that, which is crazy in today's NBA. Yeah. Just up 3, you end up giving up a wide open 3. It doesn't really matter who the shooter is. You just can't give up a wide open shot on that. And you nailed it.
Yep. Let me update the team stats here, and we can pull this up while we continue to talk about this. So it'll update in a second. If you're Chris there, man, just close out close to him. I mean, I guess you're worried about, like, you don't want to get in his landing space. You're trying to contest the shot. But, I mean, biting on a pump fake's kind of brutal there. But also, Eric, why in the world was he not closer to him? I guess because of the deflection, but it's like in that situation, you just kind of stay glued to whoever you're guarding. But I can't really blame him if he like, oh, there's a deflection and he's like kind of ready to go for the loose ball, but then the Kings get it back and then he's a little bit out of position and then they swing to his guy. So then he has to close out and it's kind of like just the worst combination of things to happen there. So it's hard to really blame him because there was a tip ball.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, look at that. 6 for 19 from 3 is crazy. So yeah, this game goes into overtime, but it's like, it's not over. The late game BS was not over. Because the Blazers came out in overtime and was playing mad. Jeremy Grant had a massive, vicious dunk where he looked pissed, Eric. I bet you he was pissed he was still playing basketball and was taking his anger out on the rim because he had one of the dunks of the year for the Blazers.
Before we get to overtime real quick, also, once again, horrible awareness, horrible execution, horrible coaching. The Blazers seem totally defeated after DeRozan hits that 3. They had a chance to push the ball up immediately. They took their time and then didn't even seem to realize what was happening.
How's that terrible coaching there? Because I feel like in a timeout when you're up 3 in that situation, you're like, all right, foul if you're up 3. You know, we're up 3, so foul them. You're not talking about like, what if they make a 3 because we don't foul? Then what do you do? Which I guess you should cover, but like, do you even want to put that in their heads? Like,
it's not necessarily that. It's if for some reason because it's you do have to put that in your head, because if they throw the inbound pass and go directly into a shot, you can't foul, right?
Yeah.
So you do have to discuss that in that scenario. So in my opinion, it's not necessarily what happens. You just have to let them know if somehow something bad happens, we have no timeouts. We have to go quick and get the ball in. And it just seemed like everyone was like, oh, crap, they tied it. Throw it to Jeremy. Let's just throw up a bad shot at the end when we have plenty of time to get a better shot.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I agree. But also, like, at some point, the players on the floor have to understand what the hell is happening in a late game situation. Like, they should know they have no timeouts. They should know there's 5.5 seconds remaining once they make the shot. You get the ball. They make the shot. You look at the clock. All right, there's 5 seconds remaining. We have no timeouts. All right, if I'm Jeremy Grant, I get the ball. I'm pushing. I'm not jogging up the court. Like, so I think you can blame both the players and the coaches on that one. It's just like a collective lack of late game situational awareness from the whole collection of the coaching staff and the players. Like, if you're Jeremy, you get that inbound pass, you see the clock on the other side of the freaking floor. You know you have no timeouts. That's why you're not calling a timeout. You're dribbling up the floor. Why in the world are you jogging? I guess he's like, I don't want to turn the ball over and find a way to have this be the most insane choke job in Blazer history. Maybe that's why.
Seconds,
but like,
it's so much time to get up the court.
Seconds, was there 5?
This is
I think there was 5 in OT. Yeah, it's kind of... No, there's... Oh, I'm on OT. That's why. I'm on OT. Go to fourth quarter. Yeah, there was 8 seconds left. You're right. Like, how do you not attack the rim at all there?
You shouldn't walk the ball up and take that shot with 8 seconds.
Yeah.
You just attack the rim like Denny did on that last play, which we'll get to. Yeah.
Yep. That's even worse. Yeah. I mean, like, if you're Jeremy, man, you know you have no timeouts. You don't walk the ball up and shoot that shot like a attack. He's good at driving. Put the onus on the refs. Or, you know, see if you could make a pass. Like, anything but that. But whatever. Just kind of stupid. Just too much stupid stuff from players that should be better than this. Like, too much inexcusable stuff. But all right, overtime, the Blazers come out. They get up a 120 to 115. They're up 125 to 119. Kind of battled back and forth. But the Blazers, with 33 seconds remaining, were up 132 to 126. 33 seconds remaining, they were up 6.
I guess it's not 7 like
Yeah.
the previous time we talked about. So
Yeah, true. So, in that situation, you just don't want to foul and you don't really want to give up threes. DeMar DeRozan hits an insanely tough three. Honestly, I'm not really going to criticize the Blazers defense. That was a tough shot and he made it. Like, if you try to defend that any better, you might foul him. So, you know, just the NBA guys make that shot. It's just really nothing you do. All right. So they make a three. But you still got the ball, shot clock off, up 3. Then the Blazers run another sideline out of bounds where they're throwing to a guy kind of towards the corner. Grant was more low post.
Yeah.
But they're basically trying to post up Jeremy Grant and make an entry pass, which is one of the easier passes if you know it's coming to get around in front and steal. I don't like that play call by Tiago at all. But also Jeremy botched the execution because he basically stepped up towards the ball, which allowed Keegan Murray to get high on his hip and over the top and steal the ball. In that situation, Jeremy Grant has to step into the defender to shield him off the ball. He has to steal the defender. He has to steal him. But Jeremy Grant at times is not the most physical player. So,
yeah, if you know the play is for you to post up, you have to seal him. Like, you have to keep him on your butt, and there's no excuse for that.
Or on your hip. And, like, step into him to shield him off the pass. Catch it with your left hand. Like,
and like you mentioned, he actually steps in a way that allows him to not get sealed at all and come right over the top. Also, like, you should discuss this in the timeout, like what hand you're going to throw it to, what side you're sealing them on. So obviously Jeremy was expecting the pass to come to his left hand on the baseline and high, and it came left and low, which is, I mean, probably the worst place to pass to. But I
need to relook this pass. I thought this pass was fine. It was a bounce pass to his baseline hand.
I thought it should have been. I thought it was more inside than it should have been. Like, I don't know. Maybe
he could have maybe thrown it a little bit more away from the defender. But then it's like, is Jeremy going to catch the ball or is he going to drop it out of bounds like Deddy did? You know what I mean? Like,
higher into his like top left hand. Like, I think it's.
Let me rewatch this.
But in my opinion, it doesn't matter as long as Jeremy steals it. And
here's the problem with an inbounds though. Like, defenders like try to read this pass and tip it high, like especially in entry passes. The way in the half, this is how it goes in the half court. You can't always throw that pass high. Sometimes you gotta fake high, get that defender to raise his hands, then you wrap around and it's a bounce pass. Like either way, throw it to the baseline hand. Jeremy Grant steps into the defender regardless and seals him off that pass if it's low or high. And he just didn't do it.
Yeah, but like if you have like a set place where you're going to put the ball, then Jeremy knows how to seal the guy properly, and it doesn't feel like they did that. So
let me go. I need to go. I want to just rewatch this pass. No data available.
But
all right.
But here we go again. Like it's just you're throwing to a guy in a set position. You don't have anyone coming to the ball once again. It's Denny going away from the ball into the corner, and you're trying to throw a lob pass in there. And then we haven't even talked about the last one yet, which we'll get to as well.
Yeah, so, all right, bad turnover. You're up 3. Now you start playing the fouling up 3 game, Eric, with 17 seconds remaining. So once again, the Blazers, after in regulation, being 2 for 6 on clutch free throws, sit there and say, we still want to play the crunch time free throw game. for some freaking reason, they still want to play that game. Which was just kind of insane to me. Like, I get it. If you're a good free throw shooting team and you make your free throws, fouling up 3 is the right thing to do. I do feel like 17 seconds is a little bit early. I still feel like that's a little bit early, but if you're a good free throw shooting team and you have confidence that you can at least match the other team in a free throw battle, like, all right, then you just kind of go back and forth and you trade 2 free throws for 2 free throws or 1 for 1, whatever. Like, they're not tying the game in that situation. But if you can't buy a crunch time free throw, Eric, that's how you save them the time to just whittle their way back in at the free throw line.
Yeah.
So I thought that was just bad feel for the game. That was basically, in this situation, we always foul up 3 with the shot clock off, even though there's 17 seconds remaining, and we can't buy a crunch time free throw. It's robotic-ass coaching.
Except for the last play of the fourth when you didn't foul for some reason. Up 3. But
yeah, we just screwed that up, just like Collab Cam screws up Eric all the time. You were Collab Cam for the last 5 seconds. What'd you say?
I said we play that game except for at the last possession of the fourth quarter when we could have done it and maybe won this game in regulation.
Which is the best time to do it. We failed to do it.
Yeah. Anyways, so they make both free throws. We get a situation where we have another inbounds pass, same spot, Tori. What are we going to drop this time? Our plays are so bad. We have to have Donovan Klingan in the game, apparently, to have an outlet guy to throw a high pass to in case no one gets open, which no one did. So I guess he had to be in the game. But why the hell do you not put your 5 best free throw shooters in the game at that point? Any freaking competent coach would instantly put your 5 best free throw shooters in the game with the ball in that situation. Like,
here's the thing, though. Is Klingan one of their top 5 free throw shooters? Like, I'm kind of playing devil's advocate here. But Klingan on the season before this game was shooting 79.5% from the free throw line. Shaden Sharp was shooting 79.1%. And just Mitch,
like 4 for 9 or something at this point, right?
He was 5 for 11. So, like, that's where it was like, okay, don't have Klingan in the game. He's 5 for 11 from the free throw line. But, like, before this game, you can make the argument, like, he's been shooting good from the free throw line this year. He's almost 80%.
Yeah, sure. But in that situation where he's already missed 6 out of 11, you don't have him in the game. I agree. But come on.
If you can't inbound it,
shooting a free throw in the clutch, like, I don't know. Even if he's shooting 80%.
I don't trust anybody on this team to shoot a free throw in the clutch at this point, you know?
Well, Holiday was good earlier in the season when we
we need Drew back for that. But it's like, if you are really struggling to inbound it, it's nice to have a 7-2 guy out there that on the season was shooting almost 80%. So, like, I kind of understand that, but once again, it's like he's 5 for 11 from the free throw line. So, based on how the game is going, adjust. But they can't inbound it. So, I mean, if they didn't have him, who knows, they might have turned it over. Which they practically did, because he missed both free throws.
Well, Lamar even drew the path that Denny should have taken to the ball. I don't know if he was just a decoy to get someone else the ball or something. That's the only way to really explain the route he ran. But he ran it in a way where he didn't come to the ball. Once again, we had no one come to the ball, and you have to outlet it to your center because you have no one to pass to, because he runs like through midcourt circle into the backcourt, and you can't risk throwing that pass in that situation. So why did he not come to that completely open area to the left of the inbounder? I have no idea. It's just, once again, horrible play design, horrible execution. I don't know, probably a little of both, but like, it's 3 straight inbounds passes now that we turn the ball over twice and have to pass it to our 7-2 center as the only outlet on the third one. Just terrible all around.
Yeah. Yep. So yeah. So the Kings have the ball down 1 with 16 seconds remaining, and of course DeMar DeRozan walks down Jeremy Grant and hits a mid-range shot to go ahead. It just feels like every clutch shot teams make against the Blazers at this point. Like, I knew of course he was going to make that. Like, of course Desmond Bane was going to make his shot. Of course, What was the other buzzer beater we lost off this year? I don't even remember. They're blurring together.
Vucevic.
Oh, yeah. Of course, Vucevic is going to make that shot. You know, of course, DeRozan's going to make that shot. It's sad when, like, the other team, even if it's a bad team, it's like, oh, of course, the clutch shot they're going to get, I know they're going to make it, and then they make it. Whereas the Blazers are here at the free throw line, and I know they're going to miss a free throw, and then they miss a free throw. That drives me crazy, man. It should be the opposite. I shouldn't be like Desmond Bane's falling out of bounds shooting a three, and I feel like it's going in. And I should have confidence in this team making clutch freaking free throws. So DeMar DeRozan makes a 14-foot turnaround. The Kings are up 1 with 4.4 seconds remaining. The Blazers don't have a timeout. Denny Oftia runs down the floor and shoots a one-legged, like almost 3-point runner. He's like a step inside the 3-point line. And basically just kind of throws his body into an area where there's a couple Kings defenders. And gets fouled. Do you think he got fouled?
Technically, yes. I mean, Westbrook does lift his arm and connect with his left arm. I mean, if they don't call that, I'm probably not like yelling about how bad the refs were, or anything like that. So yeah, I don't know.
I would have been pissed if I was on the other side of that. I thought that call was
me too.
Kind of soft. But Eric, that was the first smart play a Blazer made in the final minute of regulation or overtime. That was really smart. Like, you don't really have time to get down and get a clean shot.
I'm shocked they called that, though.
I'm shocked, but, like, that's about as good of a chance as you have of anything, like running full speed with traffic around you, is to try and draw a foul.
Yeah.
And then he makes 2 clutch free throws. Finally, a Blazer makes 2 out of 2 clutch free throws.
I really want him to make 1 of 2 so we could have double overtime for this game. It seemed fitting.
Oh, my God. This game could still be going on right now.
Yeah.
I got a meeting at 8 a.m., man. That would have been bad. I know you got to be up even earlier, so, it would be nice to get some sleep tonight. And then Keon Ellis misses like a half-court shot. I was so scared the Blazers were going to foul him.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, that would just be the cherry on top of the shit sundae if they foul him on a half-court shot. They got a little close to him.
I mean, he hit backboard, too.
Yeah. I know. Imagine if that went in.
I mean, like you said earlier, I would have just laughed at that.
I would have died laughing if that went in.
So funny.
Like, the Vucevic one pissed me off because close game and then bad defensive mistake by Tammani. That game was so stupid that it would have been hilarious.
We're still over 500 then, right? Weren't we still like a good team then? Maybe not.
What was our record?
I'll look up our record in that.
I'll look it up before you.
Okay.
So we were at the time. We were 6-8.
Oh, okay.
We had lost 3 in a row.
Okay.
Anyway.
Do you only get your name in the box if you win? So, like, the Blazers would have lost this game, would they have still picked someone as the Bucks player of the game? How does that work?
No. He said in a win.
Oh, in a win. Okay, he did say that.
Yeah,
I didn't hear him say that part.
Who gets their name in the box today?
Yeah, that's what chat was.
Chat, whose name are you putting in the box? Maybe we should start doing that instead of player of the game polls. It's like Denny would win today's player of the game poll. Anyway.
Lamar really wanted to put Chris Murray in there.
Okay. Chris Murray and Sadie Sissoko in overtime were freaking good. The starters choked at the end of regulation, and then you have City and Chris Murray in. Chris Murray has 2 buckets, a big offensive board. City Sissoko starts throwing dimes like he's Magic Johnson. Like, that pass to Klingan was such a nice pass. Klingan dropped it, but then I don't even remember if he finished off that play. I was so mesmerized by the pass, Eric. Like, that was a beautiful pass by City.
That laser one?
Yeah.
I think Klingan went to the line on that one.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that was a freaking fantastic pass.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, all right, if this game isn't stupid enough, here comes Chris Murray and City Sissoko to save the day. Oh, and then the Blazers, like, finding ways to screw that up and still win. This was just the most hilarious game ever.
What a hilarious season, though. We're in overtime in a game we need to win, and we have City Sissoko and Chris Murray out there in the lineup.
I know.
That's crazy.
And Shaden Sharp not playing because he, like, might have gotten benched. Did we have word on that, chat? Do we know why Shay wasn't in overtime?
No, Splitter specifically said he reached his minutes restriction and couldn't play.
He said that. I thought you were saying, like, watch him say that.
No, he did say that.
He's still on a minutes restriction?
Once again, we don't know if that's accurate or not, but yeah.
What is his minute? Okay, wait. How many minutes
he could be
play
just
today? He played in 35 minutes.
Okay. He did play a lot, I guess. But since when does a player have a 35-minute restriction?
Like, before the game, the doctors were like
insanely high.
Yeah, before the game, the trading staff's like, all right, Tiago, he still has a minutes restriction, but it's 35 minutes. You should be fine. I'm not buying that.
I mean, maybe I could see a scenario. It's like, okay, let's not overtax him or anything, but he's pretty much good to go.
No, I don't buy that. Here's why. Also, your webcam's kind of freezing. I don't know if it's your internet. But at least you're smiling in the frozen frame. I don't know what's going on. You might have to leave and rejoin. Wait, if I hide you and then show you? Nope, still frozen. You might have to leave and rejoin. Your thing froze. But leave and rejoin. I'll tell you why this is BS. Because I think I have a real good reason. All right, you're fine. All right, you're good. I think. I don't even hear him anymore, chat. Looks like Eric's feed reached his minutes restriction. 51-minute restriction for Eric Brandt's feed. City did throw to Klingan there, inbounding, not the smartest. That was like his only option. He would have gotten a 5-second call. That was not a bad decision at that point in time. I think Eric's laptop might have died. Because that happens. Let me just disconnect them. Okay, I'll look through the team stats and I'll tell you why the minutes restriction. I'm definitely not buying it. Okay. So, 6 for 19 for the Kings from 3. They had 74 paints in the point. Paints in the point. That makes total sense. I love paints in the point. I love good old-fashioned paints in the point. I'm going to start calling it that from now on. Paint it. Jordan Kent. Yeah, there you go. 74 points in the paint. That's not good. Maxime Reynaud cooked Portland today. That's another center that the Blazers took Young Hansen above. Another center that I had a higher grade. I had a higher grade on him than Young Hansen. I believe I had Reynaud like 18th on my board. He went 42nd. He looks pretty freaking good for a second-round rookie. But here's the thing, man. You know, the Blazers have to play Repair, who's in year 3 as a rookie, right? It's What do you expect the Blazers to do? They have to play Ryan Repair. Well, they didn't play him today, but my point is, you're going up against a team and getting cooked by a second-round rookie big. I don't care if he made good plays, kind of inexcusable. But Reno is good, and he's been having some good minutes. He's a big part of their future. I loved that draft pick for him. I thought it was insane that he fell to the second round, especially 42. Bay Area reporters all saying Kings got hosed on worst call I have ever seen. I'll take it, I guess. They should have been in the game. They should just be happy that they got to have fun playing overtime basketball. Like, that was stupid. I mean, the Blazers didn't deserve to win this game, and they probably didn't deserve that call, and that was a pretty bad call. Last 2-minute report will be interesting, but all right, there we go.
Man, Renault was awesome.
Yeah.
Cardwell was awesome too.
Yeah.
He provided some really good minutes for them. He was what, undrafted, right? Or was he late second?
He was undrafted.
Yeah, he's on a two-way.
Hustle, big, athletic. Out of Auburn. Yeah. But 74 paints in the point. Not good. It's not as much as the 88 the Pelicans dropped on us, but we had centers this time.
The fast break points is ridiculous.
When the Blazers went on their run in the third quarter, it felt like they were getting out and running, but I guess they still only had 4 fast break points. Yeah. 27-4. That's insane. Blazers did get 17 offensive rebounds, which you should, against a rookie big that needs to put on some muscle. Shout out to MGJJ with a $10 donation. Says, was at the game tonight. Left with 2 minutes to go, up 15. Could not believe all the mistakes down the stretch. Unforgivable. Anxious to have Drew back soon in these situations. Named next year. When did you realize that the game wasn't over after you left? Did you get in your car all right, time to listen to the post-game show after a nice, comfortable win, and you heard Travis Demers commentating overtime? How'd you find out that you left a game that was still a game? Thank you for the donation. Appreciate it. Because I was wondering, people leaving, what they would think. I might have left with 2 minutes left, up 15. Okay, I got to go home and make sure I get the post-game show started as soon as possible.
Well, it's just weird because it was, it felt like the Blazers were pulling away and we were just going to cruise to a win. And then all of a sudden it's just
it can never be easy with this team. You know what it felt like to me, Eric? It felt like, man, this team is just destined to never win 2 games in a row ever again. Because it's their first time winning 2 games in a row since October. So congrats to them for that. Hopefully they can make it 3 games in a row in Sacramento. But I watched this team play the Suns in Sacramento, and they were down 41-16 with LaVine at the end of the first quarter. Although that was the game that LaVine got cussed out by the fan in the second half. So maybe LaVine wasn't helping that. But I watched this team in person look freaking miserable. Looked like they didn't belong on an NBA court. So MGJJ says, in the car listening to the radio. That's funny. That's funny. Because you can't re-enter at that point. You might as well just drive home and listen to the radio. Eric, here's why I don't buy the minutes restriction. Let me take the solo camera down. You remember he had, in the first half of November, he had a minutes restriction?
Yeah.
You remember this? So he played 28, 23, 28, 29, 30 minutes a game. Even in games he played well, because he had 31 points in 29 minutes, 35 points in 30 minutes. Even in games he played well, it was in the 20s, and then he got up to 30 on November 12th. He played 31 on November 14th, and then he played 39 minutes on November 16th. So off of the minutes restriction, where it was 30 or lower, all of a sudden, bam, 39 minutes against the Mavs. And maybe that kind of re-aggravated it, because then he played the Suns the next game, dropped 29 in 30 minutes, but then missed a little bit of time. But Is that why he's on a 35 minutes restriction now? It's like, oh, we can't take Tiago off the 30 minutes restriction because then he might play 39 minutes and then he might re-aggravate it if he plays 39 minutes. I don't know. It's just weird. Like how he went from minutes restriction and then he plays 39 minutes. And now he's like, hasn't seemingly been on a minutes restriction. 5 games ago, he played 35 minutes.
It is possible that when he re-aggravated or whatever, missed the games, then they decided to focus, not letting him have that restriction lifted. And maybe it wasn't like an exact minutes restriction. Maybe it was just like, hey, it's he looks tired out there. We might not want to risk him playing more minutes in this game. And Thiago's probably fine with that, given he was mad at him at the time, probably.
I just don't know. I feel like he could have benched him and he's just saying minutes restriction to... Which I don't blame him for saying minutes restriction publicly. Yeah. Like, you don't have to address...
they have been doing that with him all season, so
it's just like literally 2 weeks ago he played 35 minutes, and they've played 4 games since then. This is the 4th game since then. It's just kind of strange to me. It's just kind of strange. Well, like maybe he's telling the truth, but like after the last 2 minutes, and especially that shot, like that's the type of shot that mid-range shots. That's the type of shot that coaches hate. So,
well, what did he sub out at all? Like, what was his minutes in the 4th quarter?
Let me look.
I can try to find it too.
No, I got it here. He entered the game. We didn't play the first 3.5 minutes of the 4th. He entered the game with 8:36 remaining in the 4th quarter.
And it never came out again?
Never came out.
Because, in my opinion, if you're on a minutes restriction, he comes back in like 4 minutes, they go up 18, right? Kings call a timeout. Like, wouldn't you want to get him out of the game then? When he would have been at, 30 minutes at that point? You're up 18. He's played 30 minutes. If he's on a restriction, that's probably like the perfect time to take him out, right?
Yeah. Yeah, you shouldn't. If he needs to be on any sort of restriction, if you're up 15 with under 2 minutes left, he probably shouldn't be in the game. And honestly, if they put freaking Javonte Cook into the game instead of him in those final 2 minutes, they probably win in regulation. Like, I don't know. Maybe Javonte Cook messes up in all the ways Shaden Sharp messed up, but like Shaden Sharp could not have been worse. Like the fouling the 3, the missing the both free throws, the mid-range shot that he took, like it was a really, really bad last 2 minutes. So if Tiago benched him for that and then saying it's minutes restriction, okay, I'm fine. If it actually was a minutes restriction, okay, fine. I don't really have a problem with him not playing in overtime because the last 2 minutes was pretty damn bad. And he was really good all game long. I don't know. It's really weird.
And before I forget, I think we missed Dono from Isra Teague. Says the refs gave the Blazers a Hanukkah gelt gift in shekels, not rubles.
Shekels. Yeah, I don't know currencies. Only the dollar. That's the only currency I know. Yeah, that last play. I didn't even see a ref like raising his arm at first. Maybe I missed it, but
it was like the far top left ref. I called it, I think.
The last 2 minute report is going to be interesting.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you want to go into in overtime or the end of that game?
Man, just shout out to Chris Murray for a couple of big offensive rebounds in that stretch in overtime. But yeah, other than that, I felt like we were just like not focused at all.
The Blazers had the better roster in this game. They were playing against a terrible team, missing its best two, at least offensive players. In my opinion, in Zach LaVine and Domantas Sabonis at home. There's no excuse when you beat the Warriors. There shouldn't be an excuse for struggling with a now 6-21 Kings team missing Sabonis and LaVine. But like I had people on Twitter, of course, like, have you seen the Blazers injury report? It's like, okay, have you seen Sacramento's? Have you seen their record? Come on, man. This was a game.
And one thing, like you mentioned, they had 3 rookies in rotation minutes. All 3 of which were, well, we mentioned one of them undrafted. The other 2 were drafted much later than our first round pick.
Yeah.
And they're getting production out of those guys. Almost won them the game with their hustle from their centers and all the minutes they provided.
But this is the thing I have an issue with, Ben. Like, there's people out there that if that's the Blazers, they're making all sort of excuses like, look who we have to play, look at our injury report. But they will never use that against the Blazers when it's the other team going through that stuff. They will never take that into account when it's like, oh, look at the other team, they're going through the same stuff. No, it's always just, oh, the Blazers, man, look who they're having to put on the floor. Like, look at these lineups, our two-way, we have to play a two-way guy. All right, they played a two-way guy as well. And they played 3 rookies, you know? Like, I just hate the lack of consistency. If you're going to make that excuse for the Blazers, you should be able to hold them accountable when the other team has those issues and the Blazers have a better roster on the floor than them. Unless you think that this Blazers roster is so bad that they shouldn't be able to comfortably win in a game like this. Like, I think that's pretty negative. I believe in the guys that are still playing right now enough to believe that they should be able to comfortably win a game against the lineup that the Kings put out on the floor tonight. And if you don't believe in the players still playing as much as me, fine. You're the negative one, though, not me. You're the negative one. And they proved until the last 2 minutes that they were the better roster. Like, they finally started pulling away. So the Blazers were up 3 at halftime. The Kings actually took a lead kind of midway through the third quarter. They were up 70. Let's see. They were up 81-78 with 36 seconds left in the third quarter.
It took a 1-point lead into the
Yeah,
fourth.
they were up at the end of the third quarter. They were up 1 at the end of the third quarter, okay?
The Blazers had, 16 turnovers at that point or something like that?
Yep.
They got super sloppy with the ball and led to a bunch of runouts. And then we started missing a bunch of threes, also led to a bunch of runouts. That's how they racked up 27 fast break points. And it felt like at some point the Blazers were going to pull away, but it also felt like they were playing with their food again and were in dangerous territory of blowing this game. And then when they made the run in the fourth quarter, and it feels like, okay, they finally came to play. And then,
yeah, I do want to talk a little bit about how the Blazers built that lead. But the Blazers, they were down 83-82 at the start of the third. They then were up 109-91 with 4 minutes, 30 seconds remaining, 4.5 minutes left. So that's a 27-8 run the Blazers went on. The Kings scored 8 minutes in the first 7.5 minutes of the fourth quarter.
8 points in 7 minutes, yeah.
Yep. They then, in the final 4.5 minutes, proceeded to score 24 points.
24 to what?
That's a 24-6 run.
I know it was like 16-2 or something at one point.
Yeah. 24-6 run the Kings went on in the final 4.5 minutes. So somehow you hold them to 8 points in the first 7.5 minutes of the quarter. And then you give up 24 points in the last 4.5 minutes of the quarter because Blazers. It was funny because I was thinking when they were at 91, I was like, oh, the Blazers might hold them under 100 points. That would be nice to finally hold the team under 100 points. No, they had overtime, but they gave up 133. Never mind. But what do you think went into them building that lead? They made some threes. They got the.
I thought the passing was excellent for a stretch.
Yep.
They had they're playing. The Kings were going in and out of zone, and the Blazers had a tough time in the parts where they almost blew this game, including that third quarter. They just could not get the ball to the right spot. They just were making terrible passes, not taking care of the ball. But once they started hitting Klingan in that short roll and got the cutters baseline, um, and then I just felt like the Blazers made all the right passes. Sharp had some kick out passes. People were hitting threes again. It was weird. We started off, we were like 6 of 10 from three, I think, and then we at one point we're like 10 of 30 or something like that, and then this stretch in the fourth quarter we start hitting threes again, and just completely. I just thought the ball movement was really good. The cutting was good. The pace that what they were playing with was good, and everyone was touching the ball and making good decisions with it, and then we just completely go back to not doing those
The
things.
thing is, though,
so weird.
the thing is, though, I understand just kind of like slowing it down, and you're up 18 with 4.5 minutes left, like, and they still had a 15-point lead with under 2 minutes left. So it's not like that wasn't. It's not like that was an issue from 4.5 minutes to 2 minutes left, right? And that was just the comedy of errors and missed free throws that lost in this game. Like, I don't really have an issue with them kind of slowing things down and going a little bit away because they're playing with some pace. You know, you don't want to do that if you're only up 9 with 4.5 minutes left, right? But if you're up 18, like, I get it. So I didn't really have an issue with that.
Too,
yeah, like, normally I would. Normally I don't like playing not to lose if you're not up by enough. But at that point, especially against this team, like, you should be fine if you just don't do dumb thing after dumb thing in the final 2 minutes.
But it was more like bad shot selection. People stopped moving. They started taking bad threes, stuff like that. And more so than just not playing slow, I think, is it was just playing dumb, in my opinion.
Yeah, I kind of felt like Denny went for a couple highlight passes. The one to City was like late in the shot clock and kind of like his only real legit option there. And City kind of lifted out of the corner a little bit. Like, okay, fine. We've seen Denny throw that pass successfully before. So, I don't know. It does feel a little flashy. Like, kind of like, oh, we're up. I can try this fancy pass now. But yeah, I like the way they built that lead, man. That was fun basketball for a stretch.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think of the play before that, though, where the Blazers were struggling to pull away?
Like I said, it just felt like it was too careless, and they were shooting a lot of threes, not making them, settling for that. I thought there was multiple times someone took a bad shot when if someone cut, they would have been wide open. I felt like I have no idea why we didn't just keep pounding it to the middle of the free throw line every time, because the Kings could do nothing, and then all of a sudden we just stopped doing that and just let them control the game with their defense instead of taking it to them. And it was kind of frustrating. But then, they have those stretches where they play awesome and they start hitting their threes and it looks so good. And then you're like, okay, well, I see why they're trying to do this now. But I feel like there's way too many times where it's just like turnover after turnover, and it's like contagious and leads to them just, I don't know, their body language gets bad, and it just seems like they can't do anything right for a few minutes, and those kind of stretches seem to really cost them.
Yeah, this team isn't consistent enough, and especially mentally, like, it does feel like this team can let things snowball a little bit. This team needs that leader on the floor. Like, this doesn't happen with Drew out there. This doesn't happen with Dame out there next year. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, Drew will have bad moments, but Drew will be the guy in the final 2 minutes to, like, settle down the team. Drew will be the guy to, like, take the ball instead of Sharp there and not shoot a midi with 14 seconds left. Drew will be the guy to make 2 clutch free throws. He has done that this year. I trust him more at the free throw line than, like, anybody else on this team in crunch time. So part of it's like, okay, the collection of guys out there aren't good enough at like kind of just playing smart, and we saw that multiple times in the final couple minutes of regulation and the final minute of OT. But do you feel like this team was prepared to play the opponent that they played today? Do you feel like they were prepared for the lineup that they saw on the floor today to try and exploit the weaknesses of this Kings lineup?
Not really, because it took Sharp going 8 of 9 in the first half or something. What he shooting? Was it 7 of 8 or 8
for
of
9
9
at one point? I don't know if it was at the end of the first half or where exactly, but yeah, he was 8 for 9 at one point.
So it took him doing that, and we're still like right there with the Kings, like barely.
Yeah.
What are we at? What were we up at halftime? 3 or something like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'd given up 40 points in the first quarter to this team.
Just inexcusable. I know they hit some tough shots in the first, but man, come on.
Yeah. Yep. So I don't know. I feel like they weren't really. I do feel like Renault and Cardwell really set the tone. And then Keon Ellis came in, man. That guy, he couldn't hit a 3 tonight, but defensively he was a menace. And
he was great.
How many steals did he end up with, man? Like that guy was everywhere for a while, and we just kept.
He had 6 steals.
Eric. Yeah.
That guy would be really nice to have on our team. That guy should be in the Blake Wesley role because he can actually shoot and force turnovers, you know, and plays fast and plays hard.
Yeah. That's what I'm really curious what happens on Saturday night. We're playing the same team again. I don't know if Levine will play. I'm pretty sure Sabonis won't because he's been out for a while. Yeah, just
I can tell you this: I don't think we'll take them lightly.
Yeah, I don't think we're gonna take them lightly, but just gonna be interested to see if they have a better game plan for how to attack them and just how to slow them down defensively when they don't really have some of their main key parts. Like it shouldn't be that hard to slow them down.
But this is the problem I have. There's too many games where it feels like the Blazers aren't really game planning specifically for the opponent.
Mm-hmm.
Like I talked about Tiago, like coaching the game too robotically and not really like coaching based on things that are actually happening in the game. But then from like a game planning aspect, it doesn't really seem like the Blazers are prepared to play the specific team they're playing tonight. Like they don't game plan well for their opponent. There's just a lot of stuff coaching wise that's really starting to bother me. And you guys know, if you've watched the show, like I'm trying to give Tiago a lot of grace here. He wasn't expecting to be a head coach. He's a new head coach. He's going to have growing pains, things to learn, right? So in the system isn't even necessarily his. So it's like I'm not going to be too critical of him. But the final 2 minutes, some of the inbounds plays, like there's just a lot of stuff right now that's just starting to really annoy me with this team. And them not being smart enough, them not seeming ready to play their specific opponent. Like the game planning is questionable. The in-game situational coaching is super questionable. The challenges are questionable. Eric, at this point, never challenge a block charge call ever again. Because I thought that was clearly a charge. And they still didn't overturn it.
Yeah, I don't know clearly. It was close. It was kind of a little bit on the side of him, but yeah, just.
But like that's one of the plays where it's like, all right, I see that in slow motion. I don't know what the call is. I'm assuming it's a charge.
Yeah.
And they didn't overturn it because it's not a black and white call. At this point, you might get one right once in a while, but like a block charge call like that, it's almost impossible to be a frozen statue early enough in that situation. Which isn't the rule, but it's almost like if the player is not a frozen statue early enough in that situation, they're calling it a block. You know, or if it's called a block, they're not overturning it. They're just going with the call on the floor. because it's kind of
That's one thing
ambiguous.
they've been pretty consistent with this year, not really overturning those very often.
Yep. Tori just starting to get annoyed. Hello. I'm always annoyed at something. But if it's feet in the restricted circle and that's what they're calling, and his feet
And
were in
it
the restricted
clearly
circle,
wasn't,
yeah, that's different. But like that type of play, stop challenging that type of play, please. Is there somewhere where I can see like teams successful versus unsuccessful challenges? I would love to see what the Blazers are this year.
And we've talked about this in the past. There's got to be, but I'm not sure where that is.
Yeah, that has to be tracked somewhere. Anyway, let's break down a few players from this game. Although, why isn't this updated? Because Steph Curry is not on the Kings as much as they wish he was. That's weird because it's updated.
Do they?
Yeah. I mean, wouldn't you want Steph? I mean, they act like Keegan Murray is a freaking star. Remember when I trolled Kings fans and said was taking a lot of heat for saying Shaden Sharp's better than Keegan Murray? It's funny because then I'll have Blazer fans tweet at me like, Shaden Sharp has to play like a star for 50 games for you to say he's good. Meanwhile, I was going to war for him against Kings fans saying he was better than Keegan Murray. But also maybe that's how much I hate Keegan Murray.
I mean, Keegan wasn't bad in this game.
I don't hate Keegan Murray. I just think he's extremely overrated. Dude, why? I see the file. Okay, hold up. I'll get the box scores up in a sec. Basically, so the way if anybody's curious, the way I do my graphics, I'll make them on my my laptop so I don't slow down my main computer that's streaming, and I save it to a cloud that my main computer has access to, and it normally will update the graphic because I have it tied to the cloud through my streaming software. Normally, it will update the graphic, but sometimes it's a pain. Sometimes it doesn't sync, so I do want to show you guys these stat lines, though, because there's some very interesting stat lines from the starters tonight. Interesting as in pretty good.
Pretty balanced scoring tonight.
Pretty balanced passing.
Yeah.
So here we go. Save image. Okay. Also, I said we'd do a mock draft today, but with this game and how long it went, we'll save it for a future. We don't got time for that. A lot of breakdown. All right, here. I wanted to show you guys this beautiful graphic. Here you go. What's up, play-by-play? Maxime Reynaud had 29. And then I make a typo and it drives me crazy. Okay, but I'll fix that. But let's look at the Blazers stat lines here. All right, so every Blazer had at least 4 assists. Every Blazer had between 4 and 5 assists. Every Blazer starter, okay? Every Blazer starter had between 4 and 5 assists. Every Blazer starter had at least 17 points. So you had Tammani, 17, 8, and 5. You had Klingan, 19, 8, and 4. He also made a 3. You had Jeremy Grant, 29 and 5, filling up the stat sheet, getting defensive boards. I feel like we've been saying that a little bit more often this year for Jeremy than the past couple of years.
Yeah.
The seasonal numbers don't really reflect that, but I like that I can say that about Jeremy. And then you have Denny, 35, 5, and 5. You have Shaden Sharp, 26, 4, and 4. But also 4 turnovers from him, 5 turnovers from Denny. Not pretty there, but what player do you want to talk about first here, Eric?
Let's just. Well, do you want to do a player of the game poll, or do you think it's?
All right, guys. Here's your vote for Denny poll.
Some people are asking for it.
All right. So in this poll, I mean, we have to choose 4 of these 5. We're obviously going to put Denny there. We're going to put Sharp there. Which one should I leave off between Grant, Klingan, and Kamara? I think Klingan deserves to be there.
Yeah.
And I guess I'll put Grant.
Yeah, let's say Kamara because he fouled out. He's probably.
Yeah. All right, guys. There's your poll. All right. After 16 votes, Denny Ofty has 70% of the vote. Okay, just making a poll for people to vote Denny. That's what they want. All right. I knew it was gonna be that way. So, okay. Shout out to Alex Wolf says respect TJ Scout and Herb, Trey, Nas, Tyson, Coward, and AR-15, aka Austin Reeves. Yeah, man. I got a little list there, man. Jalen Tyson been looking good. I'm still in on the he has fringe star potential. I'm still in on that. He's looked freaking amazing. He's shooting 46% from three. The thing is that like everybody kind of liked Reynaud above where he got drafted. I don't feel like I was that much higher on consensus. It was just he went much lower than consensus for some reason, and I think in a redraft he will end up going top 20. At times last year I was like, yeah, this dude is a top 20 player. Like I'll be shocked if he falls outside the top 20. Then he falls outside the top 40.
Yeah, there was that stream where we both were like, "Hey, what do you think of this guy?" We're both like, "Yeah, that's my guy."
For Reynaud.
Yeah.
Yeah. We both like Reynaud. I will say, like, two guys that were really my guy last year in terms of, like, deep sleepers didn't enter the draft. But, like, they were, like, fringe second-round prospects or, like, straight-up undrafted. Like, they were on draft boards, and it was Thomas Houck and Avdalis, and now they're both looked at as first-round prospects this year's draft. So sometimes it's, like, it happens that way. So I might be lower on consensus on Houck this year. Who knows? Like, we'll see. Okay, there. We got Reynaud Stalin right. So yeah, who do you want to talk about here, Eric?
Let's talk about. Well, let's just get Tammani out of the way. I thought he made some pretty good plays defensively overall. It's just still something's wrong with our team defense and our ISO defense. Still not getting the stops we need to. But I thought he made a few plays tonight.
Yeah,
hit some shots, obviously. Yeah. Everyone in the starting line passed well, including Tammani as well.
Yeah, man. That's the one area of his game that I think has taken a little bit of a step forward this year.
I just don't like when he passes out of the drive because he had his two turnovers. I think were both bad passes. Right at the beginning of the game, he drove and.
Yeah. Let me look at his turnovers again. If NBA.com will let me. Is the passes where he gets like too deep and then tries to kick out are a problem. The first one was the first play of the game where he got his pocket picked. And then second one, I don't know what he tried to do on the second one. They gave that steal to Reynaud. Do you remember what play I'm talking about? The one where he drove and like tried to flick it back?
Yeah, I don't remember the defender there, but
maybe Reynaud did tip it. That was a weird play. But yeah, I like the way he's been passing the ball. Like he makes good kick out passes. When he doesn't throw it right into a defender's arms who's like guarding the wing and kind of turns to face him. He doesn't have that. But 3 of his 5 assists were kickouts for threes. So, there's one he drove in transition. It had that, like, crazy, jumping backwards pass to Sissoko, which is just, like, the flashiest pass I've ever seen him throw, and it worked. And then he had the one where he swung to Shea. Like, some of these are kind of basic, but he does have like flashes where he's pushing in transition and like gets the defense shifted and then passes to the right guy, which is nice. He had 3 assists in transition, including the one to put the Blazers up 18, 109-91 was the pass where he got hit ahead and then kicked it back to Denny. So it's like not the flashiest like creation, but it's just kind of like recognizing the situation, which for like a 3-and-D guy is kind of like all I ask for. And that it was nice that it's nice that he's shooting a little bit more consistent. He was 3 for 8 from 3 today, which is, 37%. Like, it's a good 3-point shooting game. Or a solid 3-point shooting game. So, he was a plus 13. Like, yeah, the fouls sucked, but I do think, like, defensively he made more plays today than I've seen him make in a game in a while. So, I do think it was a good Tammani game.
Yeah.
The fouls just got to figure it out there.
He's been in foul trouble like every game recently.
Yep. Let's get Sharp out of the way. So, he had some turnovers, but, like, my favorite play of this game wasn't even a shot that he made. We'll talk about the shot making. Like, he's making mid-range jumpers. He's making 3-point jumpers. He's 4 for 6 from 3 today. Maybe he's turning a corner there. He's above 30%. He was above 30% after last game. So, we finally got him out of the 20s, Eric. It's time to celebrate. He's not with Caleb Love and Chris Murray and Donovan Klingan anymore. But my favorite play of the game was the play where he ended up in a Grant corner 3. So he had the ball up top, like could have pulled a 3, like a few feet behind the 3-point line. It was like pretty open. And given how hot he was shooting from 3, I wouldn't have even really blamed him. But he like looked at the hoop, kind of drew the defender a little closer, kicked to Denny, who stampeded into the pass and like drove downhill and drew Sharp's guy. Kicked it to Sharp, who had a more open 3 at this point and could have shot a relatively open 3. But Grant was in the corner. Grant's guy lifts up from the corner to take away Sharp's 3, rotates off Grant. And Sharp just makes the extra pass, swing to Jeremy Grant, wide open corner 3, and he knocked it down. Like, that was a really good play because I'm so used to him forcing 3s when he's missing a bunch of 3s, and now he's hitting 3s. It's like, okay, if you shoot either of those 3s that he could have shot in that possession, like I don't even blame you, but he's just patient, lets it come to him, and he makes the extra pass and gets a wide open corner 3 for a guy that's shooting the cover off the ball this year. Like, that was unselfish. That was him not forcing anything, even though I wouldn't have called either of those shots a force. And that type of stuff is what I love to see from Sharp. Like, I'm not expecting him to be a 7-8 assist per game guy, but just like make the right decision, make the extra pass when it's there, make the right play when it's there, let the game come to you. Don't force too many tough shots. And listen, when he's going, I'm okay with him forcing the tough shot if he's hot. All right, the tough shots, it's frustrating when he's 1 for 9 from 3 and 5 of them are tough off the dribble contested step back 3s or whatever the hell when he's shooting 25% from 3. So he's been really good lately because he's making 3s, but I also think his decision making is like slowly improving outside of the last 2 minutes of the regulation. So,
yeah, I agree with all that. I mean, it's just good to see him hit shots in the first half. They came out struggling in the third quarter. My thing for him moving forward after this year, because it's not really going to happen during the season, just get stronger, man. Get stronger with the ball. Get stronger just in general, in your legs, all that kind of stuff. It pisses me off when he just dribbles and just carelessly loses the ball for no reason. And I know a lot of these guys do it, but him in particular, he just seems so casual sometimes with the ball. He doesn't seem to value it very much, and I feel like he just needs a little bit of strength and a little bit of just kind of, I don't know what the right word is, but like he just needs to like have a mentality where like you value not turning the ball over a little bit more than making some fancy play or whatever, and just making sure you always secure it when you're dribbling.
Yeah. I do think like there's instances where he has to recognize the defender digging one pass away, stunning at him one pass away, and like
that's a huge problem.
So like his first turnover was basically just a turnover because he starts to dribble and I don't know who that is. Oh, I guess that's Keegan Murray. And Keegan Murray's guarding Denny, who's one pass away, and Keegan Murray's like cheating over onto Sharp, and instead of just skipping it to Denny, who would have a driving lane, and just making that simple play, like he tries to like split, but he doesn't really have an opportunity to split. So then he like tries to stop and dribbles it off of, it looked like Westbrook's foot. Just there's certain times where he gets into trouble trying to drive into traffic when he could just like take a dribble to get that guy to commit and then quickly skip it out to Denny and he has a driving lane, right? That's the like high IQ. I'm going to I see the guy cheating over to stunt at me. I'm actually going to take a dribble like I'm driving, get that guy to commit to me, and I'm going to kick to Denny before, like, the passing window's gone. Then I'm going to kick to Denny because he's a great driver and now he has a lane. Or now he has an open three. Like, recognizing when a defender one pass away is going to step to you and using that against them, like, that's where he can start becoming a 4 to 5 assists per game guy. That's where he can start making things easier for his teammates. And that's not just, I'm going to drive and then defense helps. So then like the read is this. That's more so like pre-planning. All right, maybe they stunted at me the last couple of drives and I got a couple of buckets. Like I need to be ready for this now. Reading it before it happens. Like this guy is starting to shade over towards me. I'm going to try and get him to commit and then I'm going to make the next pass. Like that's like a different level of playmaking that I would like to see more from Sharp because he can make some basic solid reads, but when we talk about star upside as a creator, like that's what creators are capable of doing, is just like seeing things before they happen. That's like the next level, and he's still young, so like maybe that's stuff that he can learn and figure out. But like that was his first turnover, and there's just times where he dribbles into too much traffic and he's not strong enough to like deal with it, if that makes sense, with his handle or with his body.
Oh, one of those turnovers, they were in a zone and they doubled him up top, but it looked like he could have split them if he was a little stronger with the ball. And it also looked like the Blazers were setting it up for Denny to be wide open on like kind of a back screen by Klingan up top. And so it looked like Shea was supposed to he just dribbles into the double team and gets the ball taken away. But I felt like if he's a little bit more decisive there, he could have easily split that or just had some patience and not like you fake like you're going to do it to draw them both in. And then you make that pass to Denny and Denny's wide open, would have had an easy shot.
Yep. There was a pass that he tried to lead Grant to the rim and Grant wasn't really sprinting towards the rim. And I kind of blamed Grant for that because he wasn't running 100%. That would have been a layup if he was. So, like, that's the thing. One of the turnovers was not his fault. It was actually a good pass. It should have been a bucket that Jeremy Grant kind of sold him on. So, sometimes that'll happen. But, like, the shot-making man in this game was super impressive. The three-point shots falling. I will say, yeah, the arc does look a little better. It does look a little better.
I didn't notice as much in this game, even though he was making it. But for the record, several Blazer media members and Tiago and Sharp himself all said that they were working on his arc and it was getting better.
It's funny when fans can sit here and be like, he shoots the ball too flat. And then, the coaching staff and himself are saying, try and get more arc on the shot. It's funny, maybe fans do know what they're talking about sometimes. Because I've seen a lot of you in chat when Sharp's having bad shooting games coming in here and talking about how he's shooting the ball too flat. Yeah, he absolutely was. So it is an easier adjustment. And, I mean, he's shooting a really, really good three ball lately. Go ahead.
Trevin said earlier if you take out his first 4 games, he's shooting 36.2% for the year.
Yeah. I hate taking, like, specific samples because they look better. Like, if he shot really well the first 4 games, we wouldn't be taking out his first 4 games, would we?
Yeah.
So, like...
But you did that with Scoot all last year.
Because he was improving throughout the season.
All right.
With Scoot, it was mainly improving throughout the season. With Sharp, let me go look at his game log. It felt like, okay, he struggled, then he had a hot stretch, then he really started struggling again, then he had a hot stretch, and it was like just really up and down where there wasn't really any like linear improvement until this latest stretch. Because you have a good shooting game. I still look at it 25%. I do think we can start doing that if he's shooting a better ball. But like I don't like doing it when he's shooting 25% on the season. Doing it with Scooters, like he's shooting 36%, but since his rough starts this season, he's shooting 40%, so it's even better, but he's still shooting, well on the season. And it was like
he's up to 32 on the season now.
Yeah, like basically, and this is kind of what I'm going to say with like the decision making and the shooting. Like this to me, shooting wise, like feels the closest to him turning a corner as and actually starting to improve. Finally, he's a 3-point shooter, and a lot has to do with the arc, where it's like, this is either turn the corner, or if like he then falls back to 27% because he has a really bad 3-point shooting stretch. I don't know if I'm ever really going to buy him as a 3-point shooter until he puts together a 50 game sample, 40, 50 game sample. Like if this isn't him turning a corner at all as a 3-point shooter, I think for me, it's like, all right, is it ever going to happen? Is kind of where I get to. But I do think he might be turning a corner right now. Because the arc does look a little bit better, and that was the biggest issue with his 3-point shot. He's up to 32%. Let's get him up to 35, 36%. Like, that's what I want to see on the season. But yeah, 4 games also is like such a small sample to like weed out as well.
Well, it's just the first 4, so it's 19 game sample size. It's not that small. It's pretty good.
Yeah. I don't know. I think like the difference for me with Scoot was like he struggled the year before, and then year 2 he was shooting a better 3-ball, and you could see the linear improvement throughout the season. Where Sharp, it's been 36, 33, 31%, and then it was down in the 20s, so it was just linear decline. He's now shooting better than he did last season. So, like, he still needs to be like 34%. And he's been a 34%er lately. If he can shoot closer to 40, like he's been doing lately, then we can start talking about him as one of the most lethal scorers in the league. And I do think it's possible. He shot 36% his rookie year. So I don't know what he is as a 3-point shooter, but obviously he's not a 25%er like he was earlier this year, but he's not yet a guy that shoots league average. Hopefully this latest stretch of games is him showing off the improvements with his form, getting more arc, and that he's capable of being a 35% 3-point shooter, somewhere around there, league average.
Yep, hopefully.
Hopefully, man. But also, Eric, like, if you're going to be a primary guy with the ball in your hands, you have to know late game situations.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, that's what sucks about not having a true point guard. Right
Yeah.
now.
But, like, if he ever becomes a lethal enough scorer down the line that, like, he's a star and he's, like, top 2 option on the team, like, you got to be able to trust to put the ball in his hands with 52 seconds remaining that he's not going to shoot a pull-up midi with 13 on the shot clock up 7. So, yeah, like, the biggest thing is just the consistency. How many good games is this in a row? Because I always feel like he gets to 5 and 6. I said this last year. I always feel like he gets to 5 or 6 games, and then he starts to struggle again. So you could say it's 7. You could say it's 7 good games in a row. He did have a 10 for 25 night against Detroit. That wasn't particularly good. He had 28 points, but he shot a lot of shots. But he also kind of needed to shoot a lot of shots, and shots just weren't really falling. So that's honestly like, all right, whatever. He was 3 for 3 from 3 against Memphis. He was 2 for 5 against Cleveland. Against Toronto, this was 7 games ago. He had 23 points. He was 0 for 3 from 3, but he was 9 for 15 inside the arc and got to the line 6 times. But then the last 4 games is where he's been super impressive. 17, 5 for 11 against Memphis in 27 minutes. That was a blowout loss, but he was 3 for 3 from 3. Then he was 4 for 6 from 3 against New Orleans. 8 for 14 from the field, 21 points. He had 35 against Golden State, 5 for 7. And then he has 26 tonight, 4 for 6 from 3. So the last 4 games, he's averaging 4 threes per game. He is 16 for 22. That's insane. Like, obviously he's not gonna keep that up, so it's a hot streak, but it's great to see. It's great to see. I do wonder, Eric, like, what are his numbers in back-to-backs on his career? Or, like, short rest? Because he's playing really well right now with a lot of rest in between games, and with how banged up he seems to get, it always feels like he ends up dealing with a nagging injury. I almost wonder, like, all right, when the schedule gets heavy and there's a lot of games, is he going to continue?
Yeah. Especially re-aggravated his calf tonight.
I hope not. At some point, he has to be healthy, right? But this is where you talk about him getting stronger, like injury prevention. We got to figure out a way to keep this guy healthy. He's always dealing with something, it feels like. It reminds me of Nas Little, how he was always dealing with something. He obviously was nowhere near as talented, but it was frustrating. Like, Nas was always dealing with something. It just feels like there's been a lot of young guys in the past that are kind of like this, where they're never able to just stay consistently healthy. Even if they're playing, they're not 100%.
Yep.
Trevin, find me his stats on back-to-backs. Let me know if they're better than his regular season numbers. I'm curious. I know that's something you'll find pretty quick. Klingan had himself a really good game today, I thought.
Yeah, he had a couple of bad fouls where he got foul baited and got in the air. I felt like he had a couple of really good blocks, don't get me wrong, but early in this game, I felt like he was a little slow to react at times when he hadn't been in the past. But yeah, overall, still had some monster offensive rebounds in this game. Like I mentioned earlier, I felt like utilizing him in that short role has done wonders for this offense. It feels like it's money when you have the cutter's baseline and getting the ball in that short corner or that short roll. He knows how to pass, man, and I wish they'd exploit that a little more. But
that was gonna be my biggest point talking about him, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it was good to see him, score the ball a little bit. Man, he should have had at least in the 20s though if he makes some free throws. What did he finish? What did you say? 5-11 from the line or something?
I mean,
it's got to be better
from 5 for 13.
5 for 13.
He was 5 for 11 before he missed those two.
So yeah, got to be better than that. As Taylor Packer mentioned, we actually got him the ball and he like hesitated for a second and then was like, "Oh wait, I'm going to try to score on a post move," and he had a really nice move. I think got an and one on it, right?
Yeah.
And it was a really strong move with the left hand. I don't know why. Like every big man in history until recent years, like has easily had not like a sky hook, but just like a turnaround hook shot in the lane. Mm-hmm. Robin Lopez, for example, was like 80% on a hook shot if you let him get to his spot or whatever. It's like centers that aren't known for offense, they almost all have, you can turn to the middle and flip it up with your outside hand. It's hard to block. and you're so tall. It's such an easy shot. So I have no clue why Donovan hasn't shown any of that in the pros yet. Like, I understand it's a little different in college. That offense, they didn't really post up at all, but sometimes I feel like we should post him up a little bit. And if he is tough to stop, or if he does get some sort of go-to move and they have to start sending help, like I said, that's when his passing can come into play even more. So I do wish they'd kind of exploit that a little bit, but it was nice to see him at least do it once in this game. And he dropped his average below 10. He was averaging a double-double before the previous game against the Warriors. I think he only scored 3 points or something in that game, so it fell below 10. It should go back up above 10 after 19 tonight.
Yeah, it's funny because, like, it's hard. I feel like it's easy to forget that he's 21 years old.
Yeah.
You know, he's very prominent in college, and now it's year 2, but he doesn't really, like, make young guy mistakes. I mean, he'll bite on a pump fake, but, like, a lot of bigs do. You know, he's just a very solid big man. But I just like some of the stuff he's flashing. He's still only 25% from 3, but I feel like his misses aren't. Okay, he airballed that one where he stepped through. Okay, he's probably never going to be like a step under the defense at 7'2" and make a buzzer.
He's never going to make one off the dribble. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I mean, maybe one day, you know, you never know. But
we're not going to have him out there leading the pick and roll instead of being the screener.
yeah, exactly. So, but you know, he's 2 for 4 from 3 today. Like, he kind of went through a really rough stretch there, behind the arc. It feels like lately he's better. I mean, he's 0 for 4 to start the month from 3, and then 2 for 4 tonight. But he did have a stretch to end November, where he made 3 in 4 games in a row. Had a couple 2 for 4 nights against Milwaukee and OKC. And the shooting is still, like, speculative, but I do like that he's still shooting confidently, and just it feels like the type of thing where it's going to improve throughout the season. To me, don't die. Like, if I had to bet, I think he's at 25% from 3 right now. If I had to bet, he's like 28, 29% at the end of the year. And maybe that's just the optimist in me.
Yeah. I do like, because honestly, the way he's left out there, he could shoot like 10 a game right now. Yeah. I do like that he's not just shooting them. Like, he's been selective on when he shoots them.
Yeah. Yep. Agreed. But like the finishing around the rim, doesn't feel as wild.
Oh, he also had that one. So this is what I've been waiting for too. Besides the post up stuff, is there's so many times he gets a rebound near the hoop, and he kicks it out or tips it out. And he had that one today where he kept it high. Like the broadcast mentioned, that's what you're supposed to do as a big man, is not bring the ball down. And had a nice finish on a putback too.
But I like that he also doesn't, force putbacks, because there are lots of bigs that like will get a rebound. There will be 4 guys around them, and they'll
right.
Force
but I feel like sometimes though he grabs it and he's looking to pass before he even looks to see if he's open or not. And a lot of those times he's standing right next to the hoop, and no one's going to block him as a 7'2" guy right next to the hoop with that kind of positioning. So I feel like he's already like looking to kick out before he even realizes it sometimes.
I feel like with better spacing, he could be a more legitimate offensive option finishing around the rim. Like that post up he had that he spun baseline and finished strong was just like grown man stuff, against Rayno, who's I think Alyssa is 7 feet, but Rayno seemed like 4 inches smaller than him. You know what I mean? Like that seems so easy.
Yeah.
For him. And it was just basically like he was on the opposite block and kind of went under the rim and then just ducked in and sealed. And shout out to Jeremy. He threw a good entry pass to him, and Klingan finished. Like I feel like we could maybe within our offense maybe have a set or two where we can try and get him like a good low post touch, like good positioning. I don't want him to backing down from like 10 feet, but if you can get him the ball within 5 feet of the rim, he's 7'2". But I do like that his finishing around the rim is not like last year. He had some wild moments where he was like shooting little like 5-foot push shots that weren't hitting rim. Like his finishing was wild. I feel like his finishing is much more controlled this year. And I feel like, to your point, he could be doing a little bit more in terms of going up with putbacks, finishing around the rim. But I do like that his finishing looks better. I do feel like he's going to improve a bit shooting the three. Like I feel like his misses from three aren't as wild as last year, even though his percentage is the same. At least on like normal threes. So people just look at the percentage and be like, "Oh, he hasn't improved," but his shot was all over the place last year, and it just seems like more consistently close this year. Which sometimes that's the first step. Like just getting it a little bit more consistent, even if it's not falling at a higher clip, just getting a little bit more consistent. Because that's what shooting is. It's repetition. Go ahead.
Well, I got to thinking, so they post up Young sometimes when he's in the game, and he does those slow back downs, spin moves or whatever. I feel like Klingan could do everything Young does in terms of like posting up and stuff like that. The only thing that he maybe has over Klingan is the ability to put the ball on the floor from like the 3-point line or the mid post and get to the basket. Klingan isn't really a strong like dribbler or anything like that, but I feel like Klingan could back someone down and like spin either way and score the way Hansen does.
Yeah, he's big, man. He's big. But like the passing needs to be tapped into.
Yeah,
absolutely needs to be tapped into. Like he made really good reads in college. Here's the thing with his passing, like he's creative for a big man. He's creative for a big man. Like he'll throw like kind of like a little scoop bounce pass if there's like some traffic around the rim. He's trying to hit guy at the rim. He threw a pass like that in this game. I forget who it was to. Let me pull up his assists. But like
we had one to Jeremy, had one to Tammani, I think, for a dunk.
I feel like a lot of bigs like don't throw the ball hard enough, or if they do, like their accuracy suffers. He's able to throw like pinpoint passes with some pace on them. Which is important in the NBA with like really good athletes that can close passing windows. But also just like he sees the floor. He sees the floor, man. Not like a point guard, but for a big, like he's capable. I think he's capable one day of being a 4 to 5 assists per game big man.
Especially since he seems when he catches the ball, especially in the middle there, it looks like he's pass first, not looking to score right away. So you can definitely average that many assists if you're looking to pass versus someone like Sharp, who we talked about, who tends to shoot more than he passes.
Yeah. So there was kind of like the short roll play, the second assist of the game. This was in the third quarter. So Shaden Sharp gets trapped and it takes him a couple seconds to get the ball to Klingan out of the trap, but Klingan gets the ball, 12 feet away from the rim. And the guy guarding Tammani in the opposite corner helps up, and Tammani cuts, and Klingan takes a dribble into the defender and then throws a, kind of low bounce pass to Tammani where the defender can't tip it, and Tammani gets a dunk. Like, there's a lot of bigs that aren't really capable of making that play. Like, Ayton probably doesn't make that play as cleanly, and then it's not an open dunk for Tammani. Like, it's not the flashiest pass in the world, but like for a big man to throw that pass, it's great. He had another assist in the fourth quarter where they trapped Denny up top, and he caught the ball at the 3-point line because it was like a really high trap. Took one dribble into the paint, and Jeremy Grant was kind of under the rim, and his guy helped up, and Klingan threw a left-handed bounce pass through two defenders. A weak hand bounce pass through two defenders. Like, his passing, I think, can be special for a big. And we saw flashes. He made, like, tough reads in college. It was part of why their offense was so unguardable at UConn, and they won back-to-back championships. Like, they used Klingan a bit as a hub, and his assist numbers weren't necessarily the most impressive thing, but, like, he made some impressive passes. He's a very capable passer. He's a smart passer. He can throw different types of passes. Like, he's like a coordinated passer. The assist he had for the Grant 3 at the start of overtime was also just, like, low-key really impressive to me, where they trap Denny on a pick and roll. He catches the ball in the short roll. The weak side corner, his guy helps up onto Klingan, but this time the high man on the weak side takes away the cutter, drops to take away the cutter. Klingan sees this, though, man. Like, he can make these reads. So he takes one dribble into the paint, gets the first help guy to commit. The second help guy drops down to take away the cutter. So he literally draws the defense in and then just calmly kicks it back out to Grant for 3. You know what play I'm talking about, Eric?
Yeah.
Like, and he makes it look so simple, but that's not simple for a lot of bigs in the league. I'm just thinking, like, if Dame can return to, 80% of himself in the way he gets trapped, if you have Klingan on the short rolls with athletes around him and guys that are capable of shooting.
Well, it's easy to get him the ball, too, in those situations. A lot easier than a shorter player.
Like, Klingan would have been the perfect type of big for prime Dame. Like, because Nurk could do some, pro role playmaking, but he's very turnover prone. Like, I feel like Klingan isn't turnover prone like this. And just the rim protection, great screen setting. Like, I wish, and I think there's a decent chance the Blazers have a new coach next year. I think any coach that comes in needs to experiment with using Klingan as a hub where he's, like, reading cutters and, like, making passes from the top of the arc. Like, if he can ever become a three-point shooter and then be utilized like that, that's where his all-star upside comes in. We've seen Jared Allen make an all-star game, right? Like, he can absolutely be, like, that caliber of all-star. Like, one day maybe, 15 points per game, 13 boards, 4 assists, 2 blocks. 3, hopefully hit the 3. Like, I'm super excited about his future. And let me fix that. I just want them to continue to tap into his passing because he's starting to really show it off lately.
Yep.
Klingan needs a little more hops. Terrible vertical. Yeah, we're talking about a 7-2 big here, man. All right, chat. All right, talk a little bit about Grant or Denny.
Grant, I thought he had some impressive defensive rebounds. He had some nice passes in this game as well. He really struggled shooting in the first half, but made some big shots in the second half. And in overtime, had that ferocious dunk. I like to see him go strong like that. I thought he was not playing well for a while, but ended up with a pretty decent game.
Yeah, I like that he filled the stat sheet. It makes it a little easier when he's 7 for 18 from the field. Did come up with a couple big plays there in that overtime. So, he seemed a little angry after that dunk. You don't really ever see Jeremy Grant seem a little angry ever. Yeah. So that was sick. Like, I like that, man. Play with a little bit of edge. Punch it on that rookie's head and then talk your shit. I like that. So,
outside of the play at the end of the fourth, Taylor, agreed. I don't know if that's necessarily his fault, but, like, got to show a little more urgency.
Yeah, definitely. And then Denny.
Denny ends up with a great stat line once again.
It didn't even feel like he was really doing a whole lot for, like, the first half of this game, and then he
didn't.
There's just so many, like, this felt like a quiet 35. Some of it's, I guess, because there was overtime, and he had some buckets in overtime, but there's just so many games right now where it's like, oh, he had 35, okay. Like, felt like he wasn't really doing much, and then he has 35, and it's like, at this point, him having 35 is like, okay, it's kind of normal. I still I still feel like we shouldn't take it for granted because we were having questions about like, can he be a 20-point per game scorer this year? And he's 26-point per game scorer, and he
Yeah.
has how many games of at least 30 points this year? He's an all-star, man. He's an all-star. Like, barring like something unfortunate, I think he'll be an all-star this year. He's playing like it. He deserves it.
I don't know what the exact stats were, but the Haber stat was during the Blazer broadcast was they listed all the players that had that same stat line, and it was 100% of them were all-stars.
Yep.
100%.
Yep. Like, he's putting up... Franz Wagner's getting some, like, first-time all-star love this year. He's putting up better numbers across the board than him. Franz is 23, 6, and 4.5 boards. 5 boards you want to round up. True shooting percentage of 60%. Denny's more efficient, averages more points, more boards, more assists. I guess some of it's like, oh, Franz is playing with Paulo, but I don't know. Like, is Shaden Sharp's usage as high as Paulo's? But like he's putting up better numbers than Franz. Now Scotty's having a really impressive year, but he's putting up better numbers than Scotty Barnes. Like, these are the type of guys like the archetype that he kind of fits into, and offensively, I think he's been better than Franz this year. He's been better than Scotty this year. I mean, shoot. He's been better than Paulo Banchero this year. Honestly, those other two guys might have been better than Paulo Banchero this year.
Better than almost everyone this year.
Yeah.
Outside of like the MVP guys.
Yeah, so like that's the thing. He's in this archetype of ball handling forward, but he's been better than all of them. It's funny because I listened back to our reaction like when we traded for Denny Avdia, and like something I said at the end was basically like, it's not easy to get these types of forwards in terms of like ball handling, defensive, potential 3-level scoring forwards, right? Like this archetype that I'm talking about. Not easy to get, and he was on a great contract with the upside. It's awesome to have a forward of this archetype producing the way he is at such a high level. Because it was always like, oh man, if we want to have a forward that can do anything off the dribble as a scorer or shooter, it has to be 6'3" Norman Powell. Otherwise, we have Aminu and Harkless, who are great defensively. Love those guys, but they're defensive guys. Not really anybody that's going to wow you with anything offensively. Or Robert Covington types around Dame. So it's just super cool to have a forward like this, and it's awesome that he's made the jump that he's made.
Yeah, I can't wait to see him play Dame next year.
I know, man. Trevor says everyone's better than Paulo. Yeah, Paulo's been brutal this year. Franz deserves an all-star appearance over him, for sure. But yeah, shout out to Denny, man. Great game, and shout out to him for making 2 clutch free throws.
Finally, someone made some freaking free throws in this game. Jeez.
Ridiculous. Do we do Tankathon and a win at this point?
Nah. That's
too early. I saw somebody complain last year, no Tankathon, like we won. And we beat the Warriors. This is the type of game where if we're going to do Tankathon and a win, it would be after a game like this because we tried to take. Basically. Practically speaking. All right, that's all the starters. Quickly touch on bench players and get out of here. Go ahead.
Yeah, Chris was okay in that overtime period. Actually, in the overtime period, it wasn't really impactful. Other than that, though, Love made a 3, had a nice drive and finish, but was kind of brutal outside of those 2 plays. I don't. How many shots did he end up shooting?
Caleb Love in 9 minutes shot 7 times.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Made 2.
He's brutal, man. He is freaking brutal. He was a +7. It didn't hurt them, I guess, but 2 for 7 in 9 minutes is such a Caleb Love stat line.
When City came in, I think he hit his first 3 and then didn't hit another shot.
Yeah, this wasn't the best game for him.
Little brutal on offense. He's just a little too he's bodying up a little too much on defense. Much like we talked about with Tammani, I wish he would just play a little more straight up. But I didn't think he was like terrible or anything. Just okay game from him. Repair didn't do anything in his minute or however long he played. It felt like a minute, yeah.
Reef
And
didn't do anything his 4 minutes. He missed a
What
shot.
was his plus minus though?
+2.
Okay.
Do you want to know? Do you know Chris Murray's plus minus in 17 minutes?
No.
-18.
Oh wow.
Not to be a single game plus minus guy, but
so he was in there with when the Kings did well in the regulation then.
at the end of regulation, was he even in at the end of regulation?
No, it must have been earlier in the game when they went on their runs.
I don't know. He was good in overtime. Props to him.
Mm-hmm.
Still though, like I kind of feel like he hurts the team when he's on the floor. Like he's a perimeter player who like doesn't shoot threes, like can't shoot threes, and then when he puts the ball on the floor, like yeah, sometimes he can drive and score, but it's a lot of like driving into the middle of the paint and trying to figure out someone to kick the ball out to, and he telegraphs it so the defense kind of overplays and it kind of mucks up the offense. Sometimes in the half court with the lack of spacing, like he had 5 fouls in 17 minutes. I think one of those was when they were up 3, with the clock being low, but yeah, not in regulation, not impressed. In overtime, he had 2 big plays. I would say that helped the Blazers win, but like if the Blazers just stayed up by 2, maybe they would have won by 5. It felt like going up 6 was like the worst thing to do because then that means they had to choke it. So Chris absolutely dying on the DeMar pump fake was crazy. Just put your hands up. Yeah. Like, just put your hands up and get close to him, and then, like, if he pump fakes, then you foul. Well, it's tough not to get a shooting foul there. I don't know. You just can't be off the guy there. Anyway. Next game is against these Kings on Saturday. That is a shot night, so, maybe we'll take time to answer some questions. Maybe we'll do the mock draft while we're drunk. That could be fun. It will be on a Saturday. So lots of college. Well, is there a lot of college basketball? Because there's the college football playoffs. So I don't know if they take it light that Saturday or not. But we'll be live again on Saturday. The Blazers, they need to beat this team. They need to get 3 wins in a row. It would put them at 12-16. So standings wise, right now they are the 10th seed. They are a half game ahead of both Dallas and Utah, who are tied for 11th. They are only a game and a half behind Golden State, and they are only 2 games behind Memphis for the 8th seed. That's the goal, Eric. Get to that 7-8 playing game. It's right in front of them. They have an easy schedule rest of the year. Hopefully get some guys healthy. Have more home games than road games. This is what I talked about last post-game show where I said, you just got to find a way to win games. Now, they really freaking tested that today. Because they were trying to lose this game.
Man, losing 2 out of 3 to the Kings and the Pelicans.
If they found a way to
and the way they lost, it would have lost if they lost this game. Which some would argue they did lose this game. Got bailed out at the end, I guess. Man, that would have had the potential for this to just send this off the rails.
I kind of would have stopped preaching optimism and been like, screw this crap. Yeah. Like, and honestly, that probably should have been what we're talking about, because that last play, did you hear what Deddy had to say about it?
I heard his interview, but I don't remember what he said about that.
He said, I did create a lot of contact. I didn't expect to get called for a foul with 1 second left. I tried to bump Russ and throw out my shot, but when you watch the replay, I did get bumped off my spot. You can say it was a foul, but not a lot of referees would call it a foul.
Nice.
So A win for self-awareness. You
Yeah.
know, like not a lot of players admit that.
I mean, that kind of shot from that position on the court, just inside the 3-point line, with 1 second left. I mean, yeah, most refs aren't gonna call that,
Yeah.
and especially since the contact was kind of both ways or incidental. I don't know. Yeah. Unlike the game, was that the Denver game where Jeremy, it was Aaron Gordon, was it, that fouled him
Yeah.
at the end there? That was a foul. But that was like clearly he came into him as he was shooting, but like got him on the arm. But I mean, technically Westbrook does hit him with his elbow on the arm. I don't know. Just kind of weird because he was like turned weird.
Rewatching this play is so funny because the ref called it so late.
Yeah.
It was like he thought about like, do I really want to call this?
Sacramento celebrated for like 2 seconds before he called it or anyone realized it.
I know.
Yeah.
City like was like super bummed out and then turned around right and the ref calling the fouls right in front of him. And he was like, oh. Oh my god, I would be so pissed as a Kings fan, man. I would be so livid. I don't blame them. He does like. That's one of those plays where it's like by the letter of the law. You could.
I think the last 2-minute report will say it's a foul. It'll say correct call. It just I agree with what you're about to say though.
But like, in that situation, you don't call that. Like, that is such marginal contact. It's
maybe if it's his hand that creates the contact, like on the arm, that's one thing. But like, just I don't know the way it's like the back of his arm. I don't know.
Like Russ kind of runs into him a little bit. This is me like fighting like being a Blazer fan and like being honest. I mean, I'd be livid. But it's one of those things, I talk about this too. Like, the letter of the law is different than... If the letter of the law is interpreted too literally, it can ruin the game. Like, you could say anything's a foul. And that's a good example of it.
So, Sadis does... We truly, really deserve that call, though, after this game and every dang game where there's legit shifting calls. I don't know. I almost felt like we deserved to lose that game.
We did. Like, we didn't deserve that.
I don't think we deserved that at all.
Just
watching
them celebrate and then turn to the ref
like,
and be like, yeah, that's actually hilarious.
But if they still had a challenge and used it there, I don't think it gets overturned. I think they stick with the call in the court because there is contact.
Yeah. It's so funny.
I like how the ref pointed that out too. He's like, the contact from Russell Westbrook.
Yeah.
Takes place with 1:42 seconds.
I think he accidentally said the legal contact from Russell Westbrook too. But it was just so funny because they lost and I like lost my mind. I was laughing my ass off. I didn't know for like 12 seconds. And then I saw all the Kings players like pissed. And it was like, wait. That game made me delirious. Like Denny looks dejected too. God, that's funny. I'm just replaying this clip and watching the reactions.
I mean, this would have been devastating to lose this game after being up 18. The way they lost it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Brody sums it up best. Safe to say this is the most Blazers win ever. Yeah, agrees.
Yep. Absolutely.
Imagine being a Blazer fan, man.
It's so satisfying to see Russell like hype and then it go away, you know? I will say.
I mean, I felt bad ever since the shot, man. Like, that kind of...
He tried to trip Tammani today.
Yeah. Oh, that was dirty. Yeah. That.
Like, so I didn't feel bad. I enjoyed watching him. Oh, look, you gotta stop. And then, like, what? You know? I enjoyed that because that was some Grayson Allen college level crap. I thought
Yeah.
he tried to swing his leg at it. It was weird. It was weird, but shout out to the Blazers. They got to win. They got to win somehow. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the postgame show. We'll be live again. Hopefully the Blazers can win on Saturday and have it go like a little bit more normally. But I guess at the end of the day, a win's a win. I'm just looking at that 8 seed. Like, let's get that 8 seed. Let's get into that 7-8 play-in. Let's win that game. Let's finally convey our pick to Chicago so that we don't have to worry about the swap in 2028. And let's have a playoff series, maybe against the Lakers or the Spurs. And maybe that's a playoff series that you can get a couple of wins in and make it a series. Like, that's the goal right now. So I'm just staring at that 8 seed. They are 4 games behind Phoenix. Minnesota just lost to Memphis. So Portland's chasing Memphis, but maybe, I don't know. Maybe you can make some progress on Minnesota. They've been really good lately outside of that loss, though. So, yeah, it's fun to standings watch for the first time in a while. But appreciate you guys watching the postgame show. Shout out to Sleeper.
Yeah, thanks, everyone.
Yep, shout out to Sleeper. Use promo code Uprise. Put together a parlay for Saturday's game. I mean, you literally just saw the way these two teams played today. So you kind of have a little bit of a cheat sheet for Saturday for putting together your sleeper parlay based on what happened in this game. All right, so maybe you take Maxime Reynaud over on the points. And you definitely take DeMar DeRozan over on the points because he just feels like a Blazer killer right now. And a bunch of Blazers starters put together good stat lines. Like, they might have hit on like every over for points, rebounds, and assists, all of them. Who knows? But you can check that out with Sleeper. Put together a parlay for Saturday. And join us on Shot Night and tell us how hopefully your parlay won. You get a free $20 entry with the promo code Uprise. No deposit required on that, so you don't have to put in any of your own money to get the free $20 entry. But if you put in your own money, you get a 100% match up to $100 with Sleeper. Shout out to them. Alrighty. I'm going to start doing more parlays too. I got 2 weeks off starting after tomorrow. I'm looking forward to that. So I'm going to do some more stuff with the channel. I'm going to put out a little bit more videos and do a little bit more for post-game shows. So looking forward to that. Anything else, Eric?
Well, thanks everyone for watching. Have a good night. We'll see you guys Saturday.
See you guys on Saturday. Have a good rest of your Thursday night. We're out of here. Until next time. As always, peace out. Go Blazers!